So actually, we just added this, or I added this mindset part of the presentation just 2 days ago. Like, we had our stuff all set and ready to go, and I'm like, we have not even talked about mindset. Like, I had a huge mindset moment that happened to me like 3 or 4 years ago, and so I just wanted to share that with you guys. Maybe I am totally alone and you guys don't relate, so this is my story. Hopefully you guys do relate though, and that this can help you. But does anybody struggle with feeling valued by your clients or the wedding team that you're working with? Or I should say undervalued. Like, you feel like you're a burden, you feel like nobody wants you there. So that's how I felt for years. Can I have the water? Sorry, I feel like I'm like hyperventilating. I just need to breathe. And so that's how I felt for years. And Kaye's personal story, it's my personal story. So just as little as 3 or 4 years ago, I felt like being a wedding videographer wasn't a legit business. This is a mindset thing. This is something that was a problem, again, like just in mindset. I felt like it was more of like a hobby or a constant gig that I was getting. I felt like I wasn't respected by my friends or my family. Let me see, I think I kind of go into more. And the result was I constantly felt underappreciated. I felt invisible on the wedding day and not part of the team. And I thought I was a burden to the bride. And I didn't want to bother her. So I would literally be filming weddings. I would show up. I'd be so shy. I would just want to be invisible. And I'm really just trying to think back to those days. And the films reflected that because I wasn't getting what I needed. I was just really just kind of trying to be out of the way. And I wasn't directing anything. That had not even crossed my mind. And if you'd told me to, I would have never in a million years wanted to change anything. And so, let's see. So the problem was with my mindset. In any area of your life, you can create your reality and teach people how to treat you. So I was teaching people how to treat me like I was invisible. I was teaching people that I am not valuable, and that I'm not part of the team. So that was all coming from me. My aha moment. So I had a turning point while listening to a wedding videographer's education. The authority that he carried as a professional and the respect he has for what he does changed my mindset about what we do.
Do you want to say who it was?
It was Ray Roman. Big surprise, right? Like, when you think about authority and respect in this industry. So John and I were just going up to the mountains one day for like a wedding. I wish it was for vacation or something, but it was going up there for a wedding. So we were listening to some of his education. And I don't even remember what he was talking about, but something just clicked in me because I'm like he's a professional. Like, he carries himself differently. He has authority. Like, just the way, like, he didn't have insecurity issues. And something in me just clicked. It gave me permission to respect what I do. And it was like as simple as that. Like, I needed the permission to respect what I do. And as soon as I started doing or having that feeling or that mindset, I really started seeing other people around me change with how they treated me.
Just want to refill you up.
Thank you.
Good thing lunch is coming up.
Water. So I've personally found that when you respect yourself and what you do, others will too, including the photographer. Okay.
I mean, has anyone ever had that moment or kind of knows where she's coming from, where you kind of feel like a burden on a wedding day that, you come in, nobody knows who you are, and you're not really treated well by anyone who's there?
Yeah.
You're just a hired help. And, you don't want to make a splash, you don't want to make a stir, and, it's just kind of making sure that, just kind of gauging who's been there, who's felt it.
Or if, like, I'm completely alone.
Yeah, especially things like, asking them to maybe move to a little bit of a different spot for getting ready shots because the lightings or whatever, or for the portrait shots especially too, because maybe they didn't plan like, 30 minutes, we got to go. You're like, hey, can you get a few things here? And you just feel like a burden, because then the bride and crew, maybe they just want to go to the reception, of course.
Really identify with this, again, I don't have a lot of experience, but directing is a great great example. Even now, that's really a hard thing for me to do. And I wish, I could be a lot better about it again. Just asking, I just take it, whatever the photographer's doing, I'm just playing with that.
Yeah.
And just get enough confidence that I feel like I can offer some direction.
Yeah.
Would be a huge step.
Yeah. And I don't know if I talk about this on the next slide or not, but a big part of it is as soon as you feel like, you realize the bride is there and happy to see you. She hired you. She wanted you there. And you have that connection. You're excited to see her and all these things. And then she's putting on her dress or whatever, and there's this beautiful moment by the window, but nothing's happening. When you say, oh my gosh, there's this beautiful shot here, please, let me just get this really gorgeous shot. She's like, okay, and she's excited to do it. So that's kind of the approach I take when I get the shots. Like I get excited for the moments and stuff, because with that, again, if I respect myself and that, I realize the bride wants me there, she respects what I do, then she respects my professionalism and my direction. So it all kind of comes hand in hand, I think. Welcome. So this is kind of, I touched on this a little bit. So now when I'm walking into bride prep, because that's like the first touch you have with the photographer and the bride and even the planner and even the bridesmaids, they all see the vibe that you carry when you walk in. I say, or I'm excited, I'm happy to see the bride, ask how she's doing and tell her she looks beautiful, and just say, how's the day going so far? I'm so excited to be working with you guys. Let me know if you need anything. I'm here. Otherwise, I'll just be going about my, I'll be doing what I do best. And so she's really happy that, that's part of the accommodating thing. I ask her if she needs anything from me. And so that sets a really great tone with the bride and open dialogue there. So, because I used to just walk in, be like, hi, I'm the videographer, and then go hide in the corner and start filming. And I have no relationship with her. So, because a lot of times we don't meet our couples ahead of time, that's it. So I have to make a really great first impression with the bride. She's happy that I'm there. And honestly, with that good first impression, we're good for the rest of the day kind of thing. I'm assuming it's similar with the groom. You haven't, I don't know, are guys different?
Yeah.
Guys are different. All right, as long as you make it good with the bride, you're good. And I'll also introduce myself to the photographer. I would quickly establish that I am here as part of the team. I am helpful, accommodating, and here to bounce ideas off of. And so when the photographer knows that you're here to help them, you're not here to get in the way, especially because usually you walk in, the first thing you're going to do is find a place for the dress. Well, you can help clear the area, start cleaning the room, or pick up the dress, or help change. A lot of times you have to change the hanger. It's a big, heavy dress. I'm there with the photographer. We're trying to get the straps and wrapped it around. And so just that helping them do something as simple as that.
One of the things I wanted to point out was that, with regards to the wedding, on the grand scheme of things, it's where are we? We're videographers. Where do we fall in the food chain? We're at the very bottom.
But that's how we feel.
That's how
a mindset.
That's how we feel. It's a mindset. Oh, we're the last to be picked. They picked a photo booth over us. They picked they picked the cigar rollers over us, and we're an afterthought. And so I think that's a large part of how that's communicated to us, and how we feel like a small part, because we literally are not. We're the last person picked on the dodgeball team. It's essentially what we are. But we all know too who is going to be the most important person after the wedding. They don't know this yet. A lot of them don't know this. Some of them do. A lot of them don't. But how big your role is, especially after you've delivered the film and you're getting these hopefully you're getting these rave reviews back of people saying, wow, I had no idea that this was going to be my most, people all the time are saying the film is my favorite part of the wedding. But they don't know it ahead of time. But they're going to get there. And so knowing that what you're doing is so important for their wedding day forward can really help with establishing, even within yourself, an importance of what you do, and kind of adjusting that mindset that people might not know it yet, but you're really important to this whole process, and especially after the wedding, you're probably the most important. It always feels good when people are like, hey, we love the video more than the pictures.
And then as a result as well, our film started to get better, and we've been able to increase our prices. Because again, I have that comfort level with the bride. We can kind of direct a little bit more. I'm working really well with the photographer, and we're all able to get what we need. So naturally, we're getting really amazing shots. So again, mindset can actually make your films a lot better, exponentially. So if your mindset is shifting, you'll begin to see your services and final films as products that have monetary value. You'll be less likely to give away items for free, which I think we've probably all done that. I think, first starting out, I did not view our final edits as products to sell. I thought what we were selling was filming, and all the footage was theirs, all the edits were theirs. But then I started viewing each edit as a product that had monetary value. So the mindset shift gives you value to the work you're creating.
Hey guys, real quick, what is your favorite company that gives you a service for free? Does anyone have one? When no, Google. What's your favorite restaurant that gives you free food? I mean, not the rewards programs. You just walk in and say, hey, I want a chicken sandwich. Here's the money for the chicken sandwich. And while you're at it, give me some fries. Nobody else in the world does it, but we give away services and products for free all the time as a community collectively. I know there's disagreements about this all the time. There's our, social media, Facebook groups, whatever, things about like raw footage, about, intangibles that actually don't cost you any additional to do. But, then there's a lot of arguments and people who are proponents of giving stuff away for free. And, if you're giving away something for free as leverage for something else, it's one thing. But if you're giving it away for free because you feel like you're obligated to, because it doesn't cost you anything, you have to recognize that there's no other industry in the world that gives products away for free because they feel obligated to. And there's only one, the only companies that do that are the companies who will have financial problems and go under because you're not actually earning enough money to do what you need to do. Having the mindset of everything you do has value. Raw footage has value. Your hours that you put into a wedding that they're there for the day have value. Don't just look at it as, well, I've got nothing else going on in the morning, so I might as well go there, because you have value over everything you do. It's that mindset of everything you do produces has a value to the client. Don't give it away for free, because people who give it away for free, I find, are just feeling like they don't really have that value of what they provide has value or has worth. I know that the whole subject of things like raw footage can evoke like other topics and stuff. I don't want to talk about it right now, but just basically to kind of long-winded explanation of has value.
Also, if your mindset is shifting, you'll begin to realize that you are enough, and doing your best is all the client is paying you to do. Unrealistic expectations will no longer burden you, which is something that was kind of big for us for a while.
Bigger for me, I would say. I mean, one thing I like to say, and one thing I've realized, I've struggled with anxiety all my life, is that you're not being paid to be perfect. You're not. But, and I say that, and you might nod your head in agreement. Your head might know that, or maybe your heart knows it, but your head doesn't. You're being paid to do your best, to try your hardest. You're not being paid to be perfect. Everyone messes up. Everyone misses moments. Everyone does things. Don't beat yourself over it. Beat yourself up over it. Just be your best. Perfection is impossible to attain.
And you'll begin to value your time, and by doing so, clients and friends and family will also begin valuing your time as well. Because we all know friends and family just think we're still doing this as a hobby, but they'll start seeing it shift when your mindset shifts. So, and the last thing I have is you will start enjoying your business more and more. Okay, so.
Does this kind of resonate with you guys about the mindset, about just like, I mean, and the thing is, I know this workshop is starting off a little bit kind of like slow with like branding and mindsets. A lot of you have questions about like selling and other business stuff. We're going to get there. We wanted to start with these types of things because they're kind of like the foundation or framework of just like getting yourself in the right headspace of getting yourself in a position of being more successful in those other areas.
Yes.
You can tell me if I'm looking at it, but we were talking about timing. How do you contemplate between, let's say, the couple wants to book like an 8-hour package, for example, but you know that in order to, you want to go that extra mile and capture the shots that'll improve your film, but those shots are going to probably happen, let's say, before the getting ready or before that 8 hours. So how do you balance between the two? Do you go that 8 hour, or do you just go a couple hours before on your dime to make that extra effort?
I mean, the question was about like, trying to go above and beyond with your hours and, how do you know when to do that? I think part of that comes in terms with, is this going to be the type of wedding that you want to promote or like is one that you really want to go above and beyond for? Those types of weddings for me, like we will go above and beyond for even on our own time. But on the selling side, I'll always find a way, because the thing is, if the client is not going to value, I will reduce my hourly coverage if I really feel like it's going to be integral for the film. But if they're not willing to meet me halfway, then it's just going to be...
Reduce your hourly coverage?
I'm sorry, reduce the hourly fee. I'll reduce my hourly fee if I feel like it's really... If I'm really pushing something to the client, I'll reduce the cost of it because I'm telling them that I think you should have this. But I'm expecting them to meet me halfway. If they're not willing to meet me halfway, then we're just, at that point, I'll probably just say, well, let's shift the hours to be more upfront. And, this is what's going to make the best film. My job is to give them guidance, and if they reject it, then it is what it is. I mean, there's not much you can do, but I mean, part of that is the selling portion too, because I use hours as leverage for other things, and it's usually an easy way to kind of get them to add more hours. Because next thing you know, they're spending $1,000 more or something like that.
Okay, other than listening to Ray Roman interviews over and over and over, how do you make that shift?
I mean, for me, it was just like a moment. It was like a defining moment. And again, I felt like I just was given permission to treat this like a business, to respect what I do. This isn't a hobby. This isn't fake. This isn't, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that other than for me, that was just like a personal shift moment.
Well, it
Sorry.
definitely has to start within you before you'll realize that other people are having more respect for you. Because it always has to start within you because you can't get that type of respect until you respect yourself. And if you're at a point where you are respecting yourself, then you just have to kind of hold that line and others will respect you too. But if you're not quite at that point where you really respect what you're doing, it's just a matter of just kind of like figuring out why you don't, and asking the question why. Why is it you don't really even respect what you yourself are doing? Do you kind of consider it a hobby or?
No, I don't at all. But but I do really struggle with, having enough confidence, I think, to kind of give myself because in a lot of other areas of my life, I very much think of myself as a professional. And when I hear Ray Roman talk about it, I'm like, yeah. But it is just, it really hasn't happened to me. And it might have been you, Jonathan. I was messaging with somebody on social media about external validation, and I'm struggling to try to figure out how much of that, because I continually look to be validated externally. I want to hear that feedback in the film, and this is great. And once I get that, then I say, okay, maybe I am right. And it's just the shift where I don't really need anybody externally. I am, searching for how to make that kind of shift.
I think we all creators want that. We always, everything we do, we want that feedback. I mean, we want the money too, but that's what drives us. That's what will drive us. To get that positive feedback.
I think it's just really important too to remember like the bride wants you there. I feel like for so long I just felt like scared of the bride or like I didn't want to bother her or anything, but when I started talking to her about her day, and she was excited that we were there. And yeah.
I actually find it easier now that people are paying me money. Because now I'm like, okay, they're giving me money that
Because there's a value there.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do to get your mindset right the night before the morning of to get focused and make sure you're in the right headspace to shoot the wedding?
I don't have a problem the night before trying to get them. Like, honestly, the night before a wedding, I'm not even thinking about the wedding. The morning of the wedding, I'm not really thinking about the wedding. Driving to the wedding, I'm not really thinking about the wedding. We'll look at the timeline. We're supposed to be here. This is the bride and groom's name. And because we used to really stress out about weddings. We're like, oh my gosh, where were we going to be? What kind of shots are we going to get? It's like you can't determine any of that beforehand until you see the space, until you see the light, until you see the bride. So it's literally we walk in and inspiration comes as soon as I'm there and I see it. So I don't even try to worry about ahead of time what I'm going to do because I don't know yet because I'm not there yet.
I was going to say, I think it's really important if you're struggling with the whole, thing about, internally about, what we're just talking about. Are we talking to the brides? Are we asking them, what are you most excited about? Like, what are you most excited about in terms of the wedding film you're going to be receiving? What are you looking forward to the most? Because if you start receiving that validation that the bride or your couple is excited and looking forward to the film, I think that'll go a long way to helping you kind of go into the wedding day with the expectation that you're valued and that they want you there. If you talk to the couple and they're just like, I just do whatever you do, I mean, it's a little bit different, it's a little bit more difficult, but hopefully you get some sort of validation from the couple that hired you, that they're excited for you to be there, and just even knowing that they're excited for you to be there, I think would go a long way to kind of having inside that confidence that, what you're doing is impactful and going to make a difference in their life.
Real quick question. When you started making that mind shift set, and I think part of what I'm doing is trying to make the mindset shift. Wow. That is sometimes.
Edit that out.
Being like, okay, I'm a lower mid-range videographer to I'm a high-end filmmaker, right? Did you find yourself with habits that you had to kind of kick that came from that old mindset? And how did you go about, I don't know if that's a clear question even.
Well, I mean, for me, it was just about being intentional about not trying to be invisible. Because I'm an introvert, I'd be happy staying in the corner not talking to anybody. But again, when you teach people that you want to be invisible or that you're invisible, they'll treat you like you're invisible. Trying to really communicate, be excited to be there, all these things, and just be a pleasant personality to be around, because then, it's just so much easier if you're trying not to be invisible. I don't know. So, I mean, that was it for me.
My mindset should...
Time and a place to be invisible, though. Sometimes you want to
Ceremony.
Well, you just don't, you got to capture some of those natural elements.
Oh, for sure. We're not like talking to them the whole time. Now, sometimes like during bride prep, you wouldn't believe, okay, or maybe you do, you guys have the experience. The brides are like stressed out, the dress isn't fitting, zipper, come on, it's not getting over here. Mom, you're not doing it wrong, all these things.
Okay,
so right. So that's like 50%, maybe 75% of bride prep, like of what we do. That's very typical. So during those moments, I'm like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. All this shot is so stunning. Or, I'll try to kind of like lighten the mood and just tell her how beautiful she is. Or honestly, I've even told them, smile, don't forget to smile. Because some of them are just so serious, or they're like, I'm serious, like they're pissed at their mom. So many people are just mad at their mom when they're putting on their dress. But we tell them, like, smile, and we kind of lighten the mood, and me and the photographer both want her to smile, so the photographer's trying to, like, cheer her up, too. Anyways, so that's, again, part of the not being invisible, and you can kind of interact with them.
On my last wedding, I found myself not being invisible during the ceremony because the bride had told me that it was important for her that the grandmother was going to read a passage from the Bible. And she said she didn't get a mic at the moment. She was about to read, and she walked away from the mic. Well, I need the mic. I felt like I needed the mic. So I said, nope, you need the mic. Everybody looked at me, stunned, but I need the mic.
Yeah, we are not always invisible. Even during the ceremony, I feel like John's had to do some stuff. What was it it was at Fernbank. Something with audio. You literally went up to the front and put a recorder. Or you did something. I can't even remember.
The audio, the microphone, the guy who was hired to do the microphone was literally cutting in and out. Like every other word.
We were plugged into his
was
system,
like,
so our audio was going to be completely ruined.
But this was like a third, like a stationary microphone or something. It's awful.
Anyway, so John went up there. But anyways, the couple never said anything. They loved their film. No one remembered it. So we're less scared to be seen as we used to be more scared to be seen, but they hired us because they know we're professionals. They hired us because they know we're going to get really good shots, so we have to do the things that we need to get good shots. But we're not going to be overbearing. We're not going to be tacky. So there's a balance there, for sure.
Do you guys mind if we shift into the next subject? Maybe just give us like 25 minutes before we cut to break for lunch.
Oh.
Just wanted to catch up a little bit